The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Hey there. Today we're gonna hop into our Batmobiles and take a little trip to Gotham City to check out the all-new Batman film, Warner Brothers' The Batman. Well, we just saw that the trailer was released just a few days ago, and we have so much to talk about. And we want to get down to the nitty-gritty about this classic superhero in an all-new light. So when we say we're headed to Gotham City, we mean it. The film, set to release in October of 2021, takes place in a present-day Gotham City, and how Batman would function in this environment. It's going to be awesome. We can feel it. Well, we could really use Batman in our present-day, real world to solve this global pandemic, but that's neither here nor there. Friends, this new trailer sheds light on a ton of different aspects of the new film and also manages to create even more excitement and curiosity about what's gonna happen. So, like we said, let's get into the general plot of the new film. Matt Reeves directs and co-wrote the screenplay along with Peter Craig. The film is obviously a part of the Batman franchise, but fans can expect to see a totally, completely new and different take on the original. Like we said, it takes place in a time where Bruce Wayne isn't actually fully formed as the superhero we know and love. He's about 30 years old and living in present-day Gotham City, so we have to wonder what his life is like fighting crime without the full extent of his powers. We imagine this makes life much, much harder. And how does this all tie into his past trauma and motivations for fighting crime? Well, Batman fans, we can only wait and see. When asked about the inspiration behind Bruce Wayne portrayed in this way, Matt Reeves stated, "I just felt like, well, what I'd love to do is to get a version of this Batman character where he's not yet fully formed." We absolutely love this take on the character, and we can't wait to see how it comes to life in the new film. So, we've been doing all this talk about Batman, but who is going to play this classic character? Twilight and Harry Potter fans, you'll be very pleased to know that Robert Pattinson will be taking on the role of Bruce Wayne and is sure to wow us with his performance. Pattinson has stated before that he wanted to stay away from large franchise films and characters because he doesn't quite find them to be very exciting. But when he found out that the Batman in this film wouldn't have the mega superpowers that he normally possesses, he found it very interesting that he could bring some character development to the table. We are also super intrigued at how it's going to be, since Bruce Wayne is going to have to navigate his duty throughout Gotham City as a different version of the character we're all familiar with. Pattinson is accompanied by an amazing cast of co-stars, like Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle or Catwoman, Paul Dano as the Riddler, and Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon. As we mentioned, however, we're in the middle of this global pandemic, which has halted most of the production for film and TV projects. Matt Reeves said that the film is only able to complete 25% of the shooting before everything was shut down due to COVID-19. So, what does that mean for our superhero? Well, we got word that Robert Pattinson said he was barely doing anything, yes, direct quote, while quarantining in London, so we hope this means he's super rested at this point. Fans are so excited, however, because recently production sets are up and running again with heavy COVID safety measures in place, which means the Batman is once again a go. With 75% of filming still in progress, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And although the release date keeps getting pushed, we're convinced that October 1st, 2021 is indeed the release date. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but we sure hope we're right. So, let's talk about this teaser trailer that was just released at DC Fandom this past weekend. Fans have been buzzing about all the little Easter egg clues that lie within the clips presented, so we wanted to talk a little bit more about what these mean and what we might be able to expect. So, this is year 2 of Batman and his crime-fighting journey, so we're going to be watching as this very grounded character is growing and changing and evolving throughout the film. Okay, so it's safe to say that Gotham City is a pretty corrupt place, with crime, vandalism, murder, and a bunch of other horrific crimes you can think of. This time from within the city officials' walls. First off, we see a masked person, and a suffocated murder victim covered in duct tape. Yikes. On the duct tape, we find "No more lies" written in what we can only imagine is blood. Yuck. This suggests that the killer, presumably the Riddler, is trying to uncover some hidden truths and is committing a series of murders in order to expose all the lies that are taking place. Batman fans, let's talk a little bit about the newspaper clippings we can find throughout the teaser trailer. At the crime scene, we see this tiny newspaper headline, "Seawall construction stalled." This could mean a number of things, Batman fans. We know that Chinatown was a big inspiration for Matt Reeves during the making of Batman, a story which involves irrigation and dams. Is there a connection? Maybe. We'll just have to see. Later, we see Jim Gordon, in all his confident glory, arrive at the crime scene where in the background you can see the headline, "Maroni Drug Bust." In the DC comic world, Maroni was the mob criminal that Harvey Dent put on trial, which ended up with him turning into Two-Face after acid gets thrown on his face. Yikes. Well, maybe this means that Harvey Dent is going to make an appearance in the new film, or at the very least, we can assume he exists in their world. So, we are trying to figure out whether the police are for or against Batman in this new film. We initially see them working with him to solve the Riddler's murder case, but later on in the trailer, we see them fighting against each other a couple different times, even to the point where we see police shooting at Batman as he escapes with a grappling hook. We think this might have to do with the internal corruption within Gotham City and Batman finding out about the dirty police commissioner. This is definitely going to present some twists and turns along the way in this new film. So, one of the biggest Easter eggs we saw in the trailer has to do with the greeting card that the Riddler leaves addressed to Batman. The Riddler is, in the comics, wearing green, and the greeting card is also green. On the card, we see an owl, which could be a direct connection to the Court of Owls from Batman The Long Halloween, which is a mystery from the comics that discusses Batman's rogue gallery. There's also a skeleton on the card, which, as we see later in the trailer, could have to do with Batman beating up the skull-faced gang of kids. Afterwards, in a stunning twist, instead of "I'm Batman," he says, "I'm vengeance." We have to wonder, Batman fans, why he would change up his very classic catchphrase to something we think might directly correlate to exacting revenge from the past. These images on the card are very Halloween-esque, and we think it's very fitting that the movie is set to release in October of 2021. Written within the card, as the name of the Riddler suggests, we see a riddle. It asks the question, what does a liar do when he's dead? The answer to the riddle lies both in the simplicity and the complexity of the English language, and is a clever play on words. He still lies. Fans took to breaking down the riddle through discussion threads and social media posts. Now, we just can't wait to see the actual film and how it all ties together. Well, those were our favorite parts of the teaser trailer, and we want to hear what you all have to say about the upcoming film, The Batman. What other messages and connections stood out to you from the teaser trailer? Leave us a comment below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and as always, ring that notification bell as we bring you more juicy info, gossip, and speculation about the shows and stars you know and love. Until next time!